Hello, everyone. This is a Tennis Ninja here from the Modern Tennis Academy with another match play analysis. So here, what I want to show is Mr. Carlos Alcaraz. He is already, at the young age of 20 years old, already one of the best defenders there are. Now, defense does have to do with attitude more than just speed and ability. If you don't believe you can play the best defense and chase after a ball and get things done, you're not going to do it. Not that everyone is lazy, but tennis is a game where effort is needed for every single shot you need, especially at this level. Now, guys like Nadal and Djokovic, we already know, are one of the best defenders that ever played the game. And they are both very quick and strides are pretty fast, meaning their stride length and their running ability from north to south, and their skill levels are unparalleled in the way that they play defense. So what that means is just because you're fast doesn't mean you're going to get a lot of balls back. And just because you're skilled doesn't mean you get a lot of balls back. You literally need to have every little part of your tennis game to work together to play great defense. And what I mean by great defense here is that just getting the ball back at this level is not good enough. Why? Because these guys can hit so hard and they're all so fast and they've all trained so well that if you don't get the ball back well, what happens is that they'll either put the next ball away or you'll be running so fast that you will not be able to control the next ball. Or if they're trained even better than that, what they do is they come into the net and they'll take your ball out of the air and just do a swing volley or an overhead to the opposite side. And then it'll be really tough for you to continue that point. So what makes a great defensive shot? And this is the kind of shot that I teach all the time, especially to my doubles players, because it is actually a lot more relevant in doubles. Because in singles, you have a lot more court to hit into to play defense because there's only one player on the other side. You don't have a player already at the net, parked there ready to slam the ball away. So in singles, it's easier to get the ball back than in doubles. So here we have Carlos going after a ball that Tsitsipas has hit actually. And let's keep in mind that even though Tsitsipas has not won a major yet, he is still one of the best players in the world consistently in the last few years. And we're talking about a top 5 player in a lot of the major tournaments. Yes, he has the occasional blackout and some, tantrums or whatever happens, and his dad issues and whatever goes on. But no one can discount the fact that he has a talent and the ability to win a major. It just hasn't happened yet. I think going forward, it's not going to get any easier for him. But the point is that he is a premier player, not just a great player. He is a premier player. He has all the shots and he can do anything he wants with the tennis ball. Unfortunately, guys like Carlos comes out of nowhere and surpasses Tsitsipas just because a difference in attitude, a difference in speed, and by no end, by the way, is Tsitsipas slow. That's not what I'm saying. But Carlos is one of the greatest movers in the history of tennis already. Okay, and I can say that with great confidence. People say Bjorn Borg was really fast. So I've never seen him play myself. And at that time, the game was a little bit different. So even if I watched the replay, I don't know if I could really understand how fast Borg was because the balls weren't hit as hard back then. But I'll just respect the older players who've lived in that generation and said he was amazingly quick. But I'm just comparing the tennis players of this generation who have an average forehand of 80 miles an hour. And Carlos just looks like the ball's not even moving when he's going back and forth. Now here, what I'm going to illustrate to you is Tsitsipas hitting a great shot to start a point to his advantage. And what happens is that everybody who watches this in the beginning would think that Alcaraz pretty much has no chance to win the point because, again, Tsitsipas is an elite premier player. He's not the guy who just hits the ball to one spot, just hangs around, and can't get the next ball, okay? But as you'll see here as I play, you see Tsitsipas just served wide out here. And then Carlos is going to get the ball and returns. And look at that defense, okay? That is the kind of defense that I teach and I hit myself all the time, okay? And why is that so good, okay? Why is that so good compared to what other people do? And this is a defense that Novak and Rafa hit all the time as well, okay? So here, let's analyze. It's going across, first of all, got to get the serve back, right? It doesn't really matter defense if you don't get the serve back. Look at this serve. I mean, this is an incredible serve. Right in the corner there, sliding away. It's a slider, right? So he reaches out there. I mean, that's incredible reflexes and thrust. I mean, how fast he's getting out there. This is absolutely ridiculous. Right there, look at that. He's in the full stretch, getting out there. His arm is fully stretched out right here, okay? You got to understand that this is an ace to 99.9999999% of the players in the world who ever play tennis, okay? There's probably only about 10 to 20 players in the world who can return this kind of serve consistently with any kind of authority, meaning getting the ball in the court with a certain speed. So this guy here, Tsitsipas, cannot just put the next ball away. Now, most people think that he did put this away, and you'd be right, again, within 99.9999999% of the players in the world. However, here, Alcaraz hits it just well enough, and let's not forget that, okay? Alcaraz hits this ball just well enough so that Tsitsipas cannot put the ball away cleanly. Because I don't care how fast Carlos is. If this ball that he hits comes back zooming here, or just kind of floats over here like this, right? Nice and short, right? Tsitsipas can hit the ball 80 miles an hour, okay? To this corner, easily, no problem. And even Alcaraz can't get that. But the thing here is that he hits it just well enough, right? And there's a ton of topspin, by the way. If you see his racket there, look at how he buggy whips around, right? You see the buggy whip? That means he's put at least 2,000 to 3,000 RPM on that. Minimum, if not over 3,000. It's hard for me to tell in this resolution here, but I guarantee it's over 2,500, okay? On that kind of stretch. That's already ridiculous, okay? And this is the important part right here, okay? He hits it just enough, see, right there, just enough closer to the center line, okay? Now, this is a double-edged sword, okay? If he hits the ball here, okay, Tsitsipas has hit a backhand. Okay, now I would say that Tsitsipas hits his forehand 5 to 10 miles an hour harder than his backhand. Okay, but in this particular case, 5 to 10 miles an hour is not significant. Okay, because here he has this angle. Okay, where this ball is here, where Carlos did hit it, over here, he has this angle. Okay. This difference in angle is a critical factor here, all right? And also, Tsitsipas has really good topspin on his backhand, really good. We're talking 3,000 plus if you wanted to, okay? Which means if the ball lands, it's going to bounce away. It's not going to just hang around there, okay? But from there, that's what there goes. That goes. But where Carlos did hit it, the ball's going to bounce this way, right? So again, the angle difference here, right, results in this distance difference, okay? That difference here is critical, okay? That is what? Approximately here. That's about 3 feet there. That's about 6, 7 feet, okay? About 6, 7 feet. 6 to 7 feet, right there. Now, no matter how fast Carlos is, okay, 6 to 7 feet extra distance to get a ball is ridiculously a lot, okay? Do you know how many of these players get to a ball and barely get to it with their racket? Okay? And if you get a couple of more inches, that's great. But 6 to 7 feet, okay, that's a whole nother story, right? That would be impossible to get. Meaning, if he gets a ball here, barely, he is not getting a ball here. That's just a fact. That's not happening, okay? And even if he does, the quality from this spot will be much, much less, okay? So let's play this and let's see what goes on here. Okay, so my point here was that Tsitsipas was forced to hit a forehand from this spot, reducing the angle of his put away. Reducing. So the ball goes that way. Okay? Instead of Carlos barely getting it back. And this is where every inch matters. This is what people don't understand sometimes. Okay? Back here. If Carlos got to the ball a little earlier, he could have actually hit that ball all the way over here, which a lot of people do. That's the goal. Your goal is to make Tsitsipas hit a down the line shot. That way. Okay? That way. This way again. Instead of that, right? See this? Again, the distance. Okay? Why would he want to move out here to hit the ball? He just wants it over here. Okay? So let me tell you why Alcaraz hit it here to this spot. Okay? Because he literally could not get outside the ball. The serve was that good. So what I'm saying is that the serve was so good that this was literally right there. See? This is literally as far right as he could get it. He could not get it any more out. Impossible. All right? So at this point, Tsitsipas setting up for a forehand. Right. See, the ball actually bounces towards the right side of the court. So that's a great job by Alcaraz. Okay? Now check this out. This is the ridiculousness of Carlos. Look where this guy is. Are you kidding me? He is still in the left doubles alley. Okay? And Tsitsipas is actually hitting the ball. Do you guys know how ridiculous this is? Tsitsipas is hitting the ball, and he probably hits this ball at over 60 to 70 miles an hour easy. I guarantee it. 60 to 70 miles an hour, okay? Most of you club players have never seen a ball at 70 miles an hour, believe me. 70 is pretty fast, okay? If you take a lesson, and if your local pro is feeding a ball, if he feeds the ball as fast as he can, that might approach 70. And I'm talking about as fast as he can if he feeds the ball. And they would never do that to you, right? So think about that for a second. So he's hitting the ball over 70 miles an hour here. And now his best shot is right there in the corner, right? And let's see, first of all, where he does bounce the ball so I can actually draw that line properly. So he goes from here, contact point, to, where's the ball bouncing? Right there. Bounces right there. Now, honestly speaking, I cannot tell Tsitsipas here to do better than this. Okay? To have this margin here, like 1 to 2 feet, come on. You know, you can't tell anyone that's not good. Okay? Even at the professional level. So what I'm saying is he pretty much did his job. Okay? And at this moment, look at Carlos. Look at this guy. He's barely even at the midpoint mark. Okay? But the reason he catches up to the ball is this, right? Just like a train, just like a car, you're the slowest when you start right here. Look how slow he is here. That's slow. And then as he gets his speed up, he's almost at full speed already. See? So here he's slow, and then he's, boom, speeding up. So now he's almost at full speed already, and he's not losing any. Now, the double benefit for him is the ball. After a ball bounces, especially on clay, the ball slows down over 30%, sometimes 40%, sometimes much more than 50% when what? Somebody puts underspin, right? But in this case, with topspin, so I assume the ball slows down maybe 30%, something like that, maybe 25%. I couldn't really tell how much topspin he put on this. Let's see here. Yeah, I would say he put over 2,500 also, 2,500 RPM. So that ball's not going to slow down, maybe 20% at the most, okay? But look, again, the line, it's pretty good. Okay, from there, remember? Right there to the bounce, right there. And then we draw the line. Boom, boom. Okay? So this court coverage from here to here, I mean, that's ridiculous, right? Come on. That's absolutely ridiculous. But I'm telling you, Carlos is faster than most guys on tour. But there are other guys on tour who could possibly go touch this. Okay? They can possibly do it. All right? But this is where the special, Carlos' special comes out. He runs. He runs. He runs. And by the way, I want you to notice this guy here. Look how well trained he is. He's actually coming up, okay, to put additional pressure. That's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be at the baseline here. You're supposed to get to behind the service line, okay? Carlos going. And he has already decided at this point he's going to slice the ball. How many times have I told my students, do not hit the ball up. Just slice it. It's much easier. Open the face and just pop it up high, like that. And this was the most impressive thing. Right here. I want you to see this. Look what this guy does. Look at this. Okay, I have to actually go over here because he slides for so ridiculously long, because at this point he's probably running at 15 miles an hour. I mean, that's a ridiculous speed on a tennis court. Let me just tell you that right now. Going like 15 miles an hour, and watch, he hits, and you may not see it here, but I remember seeing this live. His head, his eyes right now You see the ball is left, right? The ball is left. His eyes were still right there, right here. His eyes were not looking up at all. His head stayed there. It's still there. It's still there. Just believe me. If you can't see it here, believe me, it's still there. Look at his racket. It's still, look at his sliding. It's ridiculous. Come on. And you know it's still there because he's faced backwards. This is not a joke. His back is a sissy boss. Literally. So, why is this important? The value of great contact and focusing on the shot. Okay? He knows that the way he hits this ball, he will have at least 3 to 4 seconds of time. At least. Okay? So if you have that much time, is it really smart to take your eyes off the ball during the hit just to watch the ball go up to the heavens? There's no point in that. Yet, why you need to see your ball go up to the heavens? Okay, what you need to see is the ball coming down to Tsitsipas. Okay, he knows this. So he's focusing 100% on what? Just here. Okay? Just where he's hitting the ball. Just right there. Right there. That's all he cares about. And this slide, geez, come on. Look at the ridiculous slide here. Right? He puts his right foot down. Right there. He slides from there to, look at this. He's like on skates. This is not even a joke. Look at this. Are you kidding me? Who slides this far? You know? So he's like 6 feet. So that's like 10 feet. He just slid. Like 10 feet. Come on. You know, we can just do that in a drill and no one will be able to do it. Seriously. Okay? So perfect. So the ball goes up now. Okay? He's totally focused still on himself. Himself. In other words, this guy doesn't even exist to him right now because he wanted to make the lob the best he can. And he did. The ball stayed up for a long time. Probably 4 seconds, actually. We'll see in a bit in full speed again. Now he turns around. Look at it. He turns around. Look. The ball is not even in the frame yet. Do you understand then why you don't have to lift your head up so quick? Value the contact. Now the ball comes down, still coming down, still coming down. Look, now, you see what happens here? Look at this. Tsitsipas right here is ready to overhead it. See what his racket position is? He's ready. Yet, look what happens here now. Watch, watch, watch. Oh, it drops. Why does it drop? Because he's admitting the fact that Alcaraz hit a lob way too well. Way too good. Okay? And what does that mean? That means that at this point, he has given up on hitting in the air. Now, I've seen many pros try to hit this in the air, and that is a bad idea. You know why? I understand that when you hit the ball when it's coming down faster, you can put more pace on it as well. But this is not about pace. Okay? Putting more pace on this ball is not going to win you the point because he hit it so well. It's location and solid contact is what's going to make you win, not just hitting pace, because Carl's going to get that back. Okay, he's used to 100-mile-per-hour balls being hit at him like that serve. All right, so here, the ball's coming back down as fast as Carlos hit it up. So what I mean is this ball's coming down pretty fast. I mean, imagine how hard Carlos had to hit the ball to put it like 100 feet or 80 feet in the air just now. Okay, and now it's coming down. When the ball comes down to Tsitsipas' overhead zone here, the ball's going to probably come down at over like 40 miles an hour, okay? And that's pretty fast to try to time for an overhead. So Tsitsipas, the well-trained guy he is, he's going to wait for it to bounce now. You can tell by his racket's down here. Okay, so watch. He's backpedaling. Now he's relaxed. He's going to let it bounce. See? Keep the ball in front of him. Look at this. Carlos, the diligent, look at it. Look at this guy. He's right in the middle now. Look how smart he is, okay? Why? Because the lob he hit was also in the middle, okay? Because he literally hit the perfect defensive lob. Look where it bounced. Right there. Are you kidding me? Look at this, okay? Right inside the baseline, a few feet. Nice and safe. No shenanigans with the sidelines. Do not hit lobs wide. Useless, right? Absolutely useless, okay? Hitting a lob over here, even here in here, what's the point? There's no advantage whatsoever. Put the lobs in the middle, okay? Can't stress that enough. I've seen lobs go out, here and just out, and I'm like, what are you doing? There's absolutely no purpose to that. It's not going to help you win. It only helps you lose. So, Tsitsipas, good player he is. Lets it bounce up. Perfect position. Look at that. Arms up. Perfect trophy pose. Just like the serve. Nothing wrong here. Alcaraz. Look at Alcaraz. He's not even phased. He's like, come on. Let's go. Because you know why? I'm fast. I can go boom, boom. And I'll get your ball. And he is, look at the perfect positioning. How far back he is. Why? Tsitsipas is not hitting a drop shot here. Okay? Obviously. It's almost impossible for him to do that. So he's as far back. He's barely in front of the the line judge there, right? And so it goes, and he butchers it. Butchers it. Boom. So Tsitsipas didn't miss that because he's a bad player or he lost his focus. He missed that because Alcaraz hit the perfect defensive shot, and Tsitsipas actually, at this point, I guarantee you, I'll tell you what's going on in his head. I'll tell you, okay? I can't guarantee this, but I'll give you with 90% certainty. This is what he's thinking. He may not tell you this, but this is what he's thinking. Right here. I'll tell you what's going on in his head. Watch this. He hit the serve, right? Where's the serve? He's like, over here. Where's the serve? Okay. He hit the serve right there. He's like, ooh, that's a good serve. Okay, I'm going to be ready to pounce on whatever Carlos gives me. Right? And he's like, oh, cool. Carlos didn't do much with it. This is easy, awesome. Now I'm going to just nail it right here because I'm a good player. So I did. Boom! With the forehand. So confident. That's so nice. And now I'm going to move in because I'm going to expect Carlos to just kind of get it back. Right? Because that's what 99.99999% of the players do. Okay? Even if it's a lob, fine. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to smash it. Boom. Done. Okay? And he's waiting. He's like, right here, where he stops in his tracks, right? Right when he stops, he's like, crap. Right here. As soon as he sees this ball go to the apex up in the heavens over here, wherever that is, okay? Tsitsipas already knows, crap. This is where the negativity starts. This is where mental strength is needed. Tsitsipas like, crap. Why? Because now the shot sucks, okay? I don't care who you are, okay? I've seen club players go, oh, that's an overhead. That's easy. And I'm like, no, it's not, okay? Because Tsitsipas here is like, oh, crap. Carlos just made life miserable for me. Okay, he freaking made life miserable for me. I had to win, and now I have to hit a stupid high overhead, and I have to wait for the ball, which means that he knows Carl's going to get back, right? He knows that. There's no surprise. Everybody knows how fast he is. He's not a newbie on the tour right now. He's like, crap. All right. Maybe hit in the air. No, I'm not going to hit this in the air. It's too good. That's what he's thinking. Okay? So I'm going to let it bounce. I'm going to let it bounce. I'm going to move my feet. Chop, 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 chop. Good. I'm going to set it up. And now I'm going to reform my confidence and saying, this is a put away. I'm still going to do it. But I'm still kind of pissed that I need to hit this shot to win. Oh, dang. Screw it. Look at it. See how quickly he walked away? Right after he missed it? Look at it. Look at it. Like that. You see how he's walking away with his head this way right away? You know what that means? That means, yep, I can see that happening. He was not surprised at all that he missed that because of the way that point was going. Because he knew Carlos did his work and he had to do a much harder job to win. Meanwhile, Carlos, being the 20-year-old firecracker he is, this is what he's thinking. And again, this is like a 90% accuracy, so I could be wrong, but this is what I'd be thinking if I were over there. It's like, oh, crap, good serve. But you know what? I got this. Oh, yeah, I got this right on my forehand. I'm just going to spin this as hard as I can, under control, up the middle, and I'm going to see what he does. Right here. He's like, okay, come on, Tsitsipas, what you got? Huh? What you got? I'm just going to go back in the seat. And Carlos is thinking that I hope Tsitsipas does not, boom, hit a low topspin flat ball over there. Because in this case, actually, even on clay courts, flat balls go through the air faster. Zoom. Okay? Instead of a topspin shot. Whoop, whoop, right? Loopy, okay? But Tsitsipas hits just enough topspin, and Carlos is going back now because, he's thinking, all right, Tsitsipas, let's see what you got. Okay, if you put it away, you put it away. But if I can reach it, you're going to be in trouble because I love playing defense. Okay, so he hits now. He's like, ooh, he hit topspin. I have a chance. I'm going to run faster. Ooh, I got this. I know I can get it. I know I can get it. I got it. Right now he knows he's got it. You know why? Racket. Boom. He's ready. He's like, I got this. Right? And then he puts his racket back and he's like, okay, I'm going to hit this and slide and recover. And I'm going to hit a high lob. Now you may be thinking, wait a minute. He's only thinking high lob? Is he not thinking how high or how deep? And I'm like, 99% no. You know why? Because in this position, he's been here before. Okay, and I know I do this lob a lot too, myself. Maybe not as high as he has, but it's pretty high. Okay, it stays up at least 3 or 4 seconds in the air also. And I do this to my clients all the time, and they love it. It's a lot of fun. They wait for the ball and they're like, oh my God, and it's a lot of fun. It's a fun shot to hit. Okay, but we're thinking is not, ooh, I need to get this ball 59 feet in the air and 2 feet inside. No, we don't. Come on, that's ridiculous. What we do is we say, I got a backhand tough shot. I'm going to do my defensive lob. Okay, that's it. Okay, for this kind of shot where you're comfortably sliding into the ball, you have one kind of defensive lob. You don't have 5 different lobs. That's ridiculous because you don't have time to practice 5 different lobs for the same kind of shot. There's no reason to, right? Look at the way Carlos hit that. Does he really need to practice another lob? No, he does not. So here, he's got it already. He knows exactly what shot he's going to hit. So now it's footwork. Now is where he's going to plant the right foot, which is right there, while hitting the ball. Boom. Up. And now he's thinking, I'll tell you what he's thinking, because I know what kind of lobby. He's like, bam. He's like, ooh, that felt good. I'm serious. Right here, he's like, that felt good. That's nice. That's why he's still looking this way. Okay, it's like people play golf also. People hit a home run. When you stare down your shot, why do you do that? Because it felt so good. You don't want to come out of it, right? You want to stare it down, okay? So here he's thinking, ooh, I hit a good one. So he's in no rush. Right now he's just enjoying the shot because he knows he has at least 4 seconds to get past the ball, get back to the ball. So actually, let's see here. We got seconds here, don't we? Here, let's see. Contact is when? That's at 3.5. Okay, let's just see for a second before I go back to his thoughts. 3.5. It bounces on 7. So it's 2.5 seconds in the initial air. Remember 3.5. And then when he hits it, bam. Okay? So it's 3.5 to 8 seconds. Right? 4.5 seconds. See? 4.5 seconds he bought himself with that shot. You realize in the Pro Tour, 4.5 seconds is basically like an eternity. Okay? What does that mean? That means he didn't have to hit it that high. But you know why he did? Because he did not want Tsitsipas hitting that in the air. That's why he wanted him to let it bounce. Okay? So let's go back to Carlos's head. Okay? It's like, ooh, that felt good. Yeah. So now I'm going to turn back and he's saying, that felt good. I have a chance to win. That's how we think, honestly. When you hit a perfect lob, you immediately think, I can win. That's the thought. It's not, oh, let me see what happens. No. It's, I can win. So now look at his demeanor. Whoop. Let's go. What you got, Tsitsipas? Huh? What you got, Stefano? Let's go. What you got? Come on. Look at him. Look at his attitude. He's just hopping around like a boxer. He's like ready. He's ready. He's like, come on, let's go. What you got? You can't beat me. Come on, I'm going to get this no matter where you hit it. Look at that perfect split step. Look at that. Look at that perfect split step. It's ridiculous. Look at this. Right when the ball leaves his racket, he's planted. Why? Split step. So that he can explode once he sees which way the ball's going. Okay? So right here, he's like, come on, Tsitsipas, what you got? What you got? Ooh, I got this. I can get it. Oh, it's into the net. Oh, that's too bad. I win again. That's his look right there. See? No celebration, no fist pump. That's the kind of attitude. You know why? Because he's been there and he's done it before. That's why. Okay. So this is the prototypical tough shot defense from hit to retrieve to lob, recover, attitude, let's go. And that's too bad. Okay? So I want you all to understand that pros usually don't practice lobs like this. Okay? Andy Murray was famous in an interview for responding to a reporter who asked them, "Hey, Andy, you did really well today. You hit a lot of good lobs. Like, this guy came into the net a lot. How much do you practice your lobs on a regular basis and practice and, with your coach?" And Andy's like, "Excuse me? Like, what are you talking about?" And the reporter's like, "How often do you practice lobs? Because you're so good at it." And Andy's like, "Wait, are you asking if, like, I go out there and hit lobs for practice?" And the reporter's like, "Yeah." And Andy's like incredulous. He's like laughing. He's like, "I don't do that." And actually, Andy is almost as good, if not better, than Alcaraz in hitting defensive lobs. He was amazing, absolutely amazing. And he never practiced. But you know when he does it? In all his practice matches, in all his hitting sessions. Okay? So what I'm to say is these guys don't have a pro feeding them a ball hitting lobs. That's ridiculous. You know why? Because it's not realistic. You have to do it in point play. Okay? Me too. I never hit lobs in practice. I only do lobs when I'm playing against people in an actual match, whether it's against with my clients or friends or whatever. Why would I just hit a lob in practice? It's just like weird. It's a competitive defensive shot. So in order to get that feeling, you have to do it in competition because then you're getting real practice in, right? So I guarantee you Andy Murray, Carlos, all these, Novak guys, they all hit lobs during match play, whether it's in a tournament or in practice matches. But I'll bet you they never have a pro sitting at the net feeding them balls and just lobbing because it's not realistic. It's pretty useless practice. But you know what they do? They play mini tennis. I'll guarantee you that. They play mini tennis and that helps your lobbing. So if you don't play mini tennis and you're bad at lobbing, then you really have no excuse not to go and play some mini tennis. And we'll go over that in a different video. But in this video, it went a little longer than I wanted, but I always want to do comprehensive coverage of a shot. I don't want to leave anything out. And I probably still did. Tennis is so complex yet so simple, but there are a lot of things that you can learn from to improve your game in these kind of shots itself. So if you can just copy a little of something that Carlos does here, I'll guarantee you that you win more points, whether it's singles or doubles. Okay? So practice and work hard, and we'll see you next time.